It's time for our final underground metal roundup of 2023. Let's see what you all sent me this month. We're starting with Yatsu and It Can't Happen Here. Out of Dallas, Texas. A little sludgy vibes, maybe? Cool. Ooh, some crust and D-beat in here for sure. Aggressive. Aggressive is the name of the game here for sure. Oof. This came out on November 3rd. Metal Violence. Man, those drums are insane. A little bit of like mathcore energy in there too. Yeah, the drumming. The drumming is the star of the show here. So those blasts. That bass tone too. If you can, you might need headphones to hear that, but holy shit. I like it. I think you get the idea. Again, this segment's all about just sampling it enough to get y'all interested. No feedback on this one. I like everything about it. Right up my alley. So that was Yatsu with It Can't Happen Here. Alright, next up we have Windthrow with Catabasis. Love this cover art. Very cool. These guys are out of Sweden. Getting some dissection vibes. Well, they say blackened heavy metal, though, in the description. Okay, there it is. Sounds rad riffs. Ooh. No, I have not put together all of my Best of December stuff yet this time either, so who knows? Maybe some of these could end up on there. Hard to say, because there's still a decent amount of stuff coming out. A surprising amount of good stuff coming out in December this year. I will say though, December, January, like worst time to get your music promoted. Everybody's winding down for various reasons. But hey, I still enjoy it. Hopefully you are too. Still, you know, melodic black metal to me. But I do like that more kind of heavy metal influence in the riffing. A lot of emphasis on guitar here. Production's really good too. Solid atmosphere. I might, depending on what my time looks like, I might have to spend more time with this, but I'm digging it. Another good one here, starting strong with Windthrow, Catabasis. Then we have Chris Marigoth back again with Gatherer of Souls. I believe last time we covered one of their other releases here. Chris is out of Germany. This is his latest material. Symphonic, gothic, and melodic death metal. And some guest vocals, obviously, here too. I don't think that's your voice, Chris, I imagine, but you never know. Yeah, it seems like that's Estelia. Reminds me a little bit of like Therion, given that kind of like operatic vibe and kind of weirdness. Some piano here. Little Tim Burton-y stuff in there. Or Danny Elfman, I should say. A little more black metal-y on this one, too. Always with the solid guitar work. Again, we're just sampling. We're just like, they brought us over a little flight of sample drinks. We're gonna decide which ones you all want to go back and get a full pint from. Yeah, good variety of styles here. Seems like you could get a lot out of this one. Production solid again too. Really like the cover art. And very dramatic use of red. In some ways it reminds me a little bit of like a Opeth cover. A little pretty piano interlude too. Yeah, this sounds really cool. Another good one. Interested in hearing more from. That is Chris Marigoth with Gatherer of Souls. Then we got Soul Harbor with Odyssey. Got a Hungary. So a little more metalcore here. This actually reminds me of something else. And I believe we have covered Soul Harbor before. Some of this stuff looks familiar. But that vocal, the kind of like high-pitched vocal there, reminds me of something. I just can't put my finger on it. A little mathy too. No mathcore in the tags. We got gent though. Digging it. Very kind of goes back to the early days of gent. I feel like before it got ooh, that was a little like car bomb guitar there. Wow. That effect always makes me think of Car Bomb and Gojira. Yeah, gent back in the day when it started was really great. And there's still some good gent bands out there. But I kind of miss this sort of more, I don't know, just establishing sound. Vocals a little struggling here a little bit, so there's some feedback there. I think there's room for the production to be improved a little bit too, but I will say don't overdo it, because I think too many gent albums especially, listen to a little breakdown there, that was cool. Too many of them are just too glossy, too pristine, so I don't want that either. Like, keep a little edge on it, but those are the two areas I'm hearing room for improvement. Production and tightening up those vocals a bit more. But yeah, another one sounds right up my alley. Definitely the type of stuff I was listening to a lot of, especially around 2010 or so. Yeah, that is Soul Harbor with Odyssey. Then we got Urbane with A Soul Purged. Off of Hypnotic Dirge Records, which is based out of Portugal. Feeling some doom, feeling some black. Yep, Death Doom in the tags too. A little bit of like Gothenburg guitars in there too. Nice little solo there. Ooh. Head bobber part here too. It's really fiery vocal snarls. A little softer part here too. Well, lots of good stuff. I still have a lot of stuff to get through, so I can't spend too much time on any one. And honestly, I'm trying to be better about moving on quicker to keep the pacing of the video a little bit more engaging. Yeah, I dig this too. I think I have less feedback on this one. This does feel like something that probably needs to be digested a little bit more as a whole, given all these little interludes. I like the piano. But I'm liking what I'm hearing. So yeah, Urbane with A Soul Purged. Then we have Abrupt Decay with As It Came For Me, So Shall It Come For You. This is one of a few albums that were recommended by a fan who clearly loves mathcore as much as I do. Lots of great shirts and logos here. I love this cover too. It's definitely different. Well, there's more car bomb sounding stuff here. It hits though. guys are out of Alberta. Hell yeah. Yeah, I haven't been as in the know with mathcore as I used to be, because there are some places I used to follow more for that, and I just don't anymore for various reasons, including just not enough time. But by all means, send me mathcore, because I love it. Hell yeah. Gnarly. That's super gritty. That's like just having your face dragged across the concrete. A little bit of knocked loose in there too with the vocals, I would say. But yeah, that rips. Yeah, that's ooh. Yeah, that is Abrupt Decay with As It Came For Me, So Shall It Come For You. Ooh. We got Mile End with Promo 2023 out of Chicago, Illinois. My old hometown. Little EP here. This guy emailed me like, I want to say around like 9 albums, and I asked him to pick the top 3 because I have so much to go through already. Maybe I can get to those other ones another time. Yeah, another one that feels very old school. This is very like early 2000s. It's kind of a early Deftones-y sounding riff there too. More great drumming. I like the production too. It's a good balance here where it's like clean, it's clear, but it's got a little bit more of that 2000s edge to it. One of those very devil-may-care vocals too. Ooh, well, Every Time I Die riff here. Super fun, yeah. Oh, that's cool. FCHC. The label's out of Chicago. I'm not sure if the band is. It's in the tags, but could just be the channel tags. But yeah, that is Mile End with Promo 2023. And then wrapping up this little mathcore corner we've got here. By the way, I see that CU Space Cowboy hat right there. Love that. On the edge. But this is Hopscotch Battlecars with Sick of You out of Manitoba. I feel like I've listened to a little bit of these guys. Again, I listen to so much music, it's hard to keep track of everything, but... Oh, and that's the vocalist wearing the CU Space Cowboy hat. Yeah, she's tearing it up. I like this cover too. It's very, this whole DIY collage look. It's kind of neat with the black and white. Hell yeah. Another one again feels very much like out of its time. Hell yeah. I want to see these guys on a bill with like Capra or something. I feel like that would be a good bill. But also like CU Space Cowboy, Pupil Slicer. Yeah, Red. This goes hard too. All great picks. Thank you for that. Hopscotch Battlecars, Sick of You. Alright, then we have Ecocide with Metamorphosis out of Haarlem, the Netherlands. I didn't know there was a Haarlem in the Netherlands. Spelled differently, obviously. Cover, I think we're going back to more death metal territory here, maybe? Or maybe black metal. A little thrash in the tags, too. Old school. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is that 80s death metal worship here. Always down for that. A little bit of maybe John Tardy in the vocals too. Not quite as oddball as him, but I'm thinking of the name right. Yeah, the right name, right? second-guessing myself now. Oh, well, it wouldn't be the first time I've said something dumb if I said it wrong. You know you've made it when you have a subreddit where somebody just captioned a video of you saying, "Someone cancel this man." That is a real thing that happens. All because of my death metal tier list ranking, of all things. Imagine caring so much about somebody not liking a band as much as you that you want to ruin their life. I just don't understand it. It's sci-fi death metal too. Yeah, I'm digging it. Again, I think a good work on the production, kind of leaving a little bit of that old school edge on it. You don't want to take old school music and slap a modern paint job on it. I just don't think that works as well. There's a balance there to be had. Solid guitar work, solid drumming, digging the performances. Vocalist has some really good presence. I like it. So yeah, that's Ecocide with Metamorphosis. Then we have Mortal Soil. I almost said Mortal Soul, with Night Lies Within. Mortal Soil out of Finland, just a single here. I like this cover. Tribulation vibes on this one. Some more classic heavy metal fitting to that cover. There's something about the vocals, and I can't put my finger on it. I like the organ and these bells. Lots of good layering here with the instrumentation. Good bounce to it. It's got me bobbing my head. Yeah, I think these vocals are on point, actually better than a lot that I've given critiques on, but they're just like not 100%. They might even maybe pull them back in the mix just a little bit. It might even just be something on the production end. Oh, we got some harshes here too. Yeah, I think overall the mixing could be a little bit better. I like the mix of cleans and harsh vocals. Yeah, I think it may just be that there's nothing wrong with the vocal performance, it's just how it's mixed. So if you'll pull it back a little bit, maybe even like put a little reverb on it or something, I don't know. Something just feels not quite right with that. But I like the song, I like the instrumentation, I think you're on the right path here. So yeah, that is Mortal Soil with Night Lies Within. Then we have The Cult of Grinning Martyrs. There's a lovely cover. That's a very like Primitive Man cover art. Just 2 tracks here. Are we getting a little Nintendo Core vibes in here? Hearing like this subtle like chiptune sound in the back. No, it's pessimist black metal, but am I crazy? Like, is anyone else hearing that? There's like this very kind of video game sound effect thing happening in the background. Yeah, this is definitely not Nintendo Core. This is more like Deathspell Omega, but with some weird, uncanny chiptunes in the background. It actually kind of reminded me of like the lava level from Sonic. I can't remember if that's Sonic 1 or 2. Or no, actually no, it's more so just like the dungeon level music from the original Mario. Just like mixed in a weird way. But other than that, this is just a gaping maw of blackness. Crazy blast beats. The atmosphere has me thinking of like Ulcerate too. Even though it doesn't have... It's still more Deathspell kind of guitars though. But yeah, even that part, like, that could kind of cross the bridge between the two of them. But I wonder if we're gonna get a new Ulcer soon. Last one was, what, 2020? 2019? Something like that? Sounds wild. Sounds aggressive. No feedback. I think you nailed the mark you're going for, so I'm interested to hear more. It's the Cult of Grinning Martyrs with Fudge. What is this? 2023. I can read Roman numerals. Then we have Gautrail with A Moment Worth a Life. Love the color scheme. I don't know, I'm just a big fan of this black and purple aesthetic. Something about it. It's very appealing to me. It's a gnarly, kind of super creepy cover. I like that he's so obscured that you can't actually be sure what you're looking at, but you've got the basic idea. It's off of Static Ritual Recordings, which is based out of Columbus, Ohio. A bit more raw production here. Black metal, black and hardcore. Thinking it might be a female vocalist, just based on the tonality, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times before. Oh, we got some dual vocals happening here too. Mackie, June, and Tucker. A little bit of like a industrial quality to it too. And also just like noise. Ooh. Why are we getting so many of those weird, like, car bomb guitars today? That's cool. It's kind of like you mix stuff like that with, like, Ken mode. A little Full of Hell. This probably was reminding me of the most. And the way they're mixing these clean vocals is interesting. I think production-wise, again, could clean this up a little bit. It's weird. It's almost like a 2000s like metalcore singing part amidst this like really gnarly black and grindy menace. Which I like. I love like surprising mashups. That's not one that I've heard, and I feel like I've heard a lot. So, yeah. Sounds interesting. That is Gautrail with A Moment Worth a Life. Alright, next up we have Macabre Demise with Graveyard Gallery. Graveyard. I get what you're trying to do with that title, like graveyard, grave art, graveyard. I don't know. I don't know if it fully lands. So I'm already distracted by it. Very just classic cover. I do like this swirly background with the branches. This is off of Rebirth the Metal Productions. Miss Meat. Lots of interesting titles here. Yeah, just very, you know, meat and potatoes death metal, which would be a good thing. Production solid. It's maybe a little muddy. The guitar tone could maybe be a little bit better. Skin Peeler. Yeah, sounds cool enough. I don't have major feedback for this one. Except for my usual... For stuff like this, it's like, okay, there's so many bands out there doing meat and potatoes death metal. So, like, what's your in? Like, you know, how do you get up there with the likes of Sanguisugabog and stuff like that that's big now, but... Yeah, that is Macabre Demise with Graveyard Gallery. Then we have Throne of Grief from Two-Man Doom Band? Two-Man Doom Band. Got it. Okay, we got more yucks here, okay? People making puns. 2 in a row. Okay. I do like this photo. It makes me wonder how seriously they're taking it, though. Satanic Doom Duo. There's another band called the Boobs of Doom, which is a similar idea. It's just two guys making kind of weird Doom stuff, and they have an odd sense of humor. This feels a bit more serious. Their band's actually more droney, but there's some of that here too, it looks like. I will say, I like the buzz of the guitar, but man, are you peaking the audio like crazy. And maybe you want to do that, maybe that's a choice. Definitely add something to it. But it's very unpleasant to the ears. It would be hard for me to sit through this entire album because of that. Oof. Man, it seems like they're intent on just like destroying your eardrums. Which is fine, if that's what you want to do. Not exactly my thing. But yeah, that's my one critique as a largely non-Doom fan that I feel like is more objective, is to turn the gain down a little bit. Like, at least just don't peak the audio. Yeah, that is two-man Doom Band with Throne of Grief. Then we have SLM with Kreislauf out of Germany. Another cool cover. I like that. I'm trying to piece together what I'm looking at here, actually. Another one with more kind of raw production job. Solo project, apparently. Atmospheric black metal with piano fetish is what it says in here. I give this critique a lot when it comes to raw production. There is a way to do it well. Out of a 5, I'd give you probably 3 stars on hitting it. It's a little bit drowned out. Like where I draw the line with raw production is I should still be able to hear everything reasonably well, and it doesn't just degrade into a blob of noise. I feel like there's a lot of stuff here that's getting buried, especially the guitars. The vocals and drums are kind of suffocating the guitars. The vocals especially, did bring them down a lot. And then see, once you drop everything out, piano comes through great. And I like these little dynamic changes you're throwing in here. So definitely some cool stuff going on, but it's just always a shame to me because I feel like I'm not actually getting to hear all the hard work that you're putting in. So again, don't gloss it up, don't make it a pop studio job, but toy with it a little bit, see if you can clean it up so that those guitars come through a little bit better. And I feel like I can hear the compression, too. If that even makes sense. Sometimes I don't even know if I'm using the accurate terms, because I'm by no means a music producer. Forge Master Metal Reviews would probably be much better able to explain it. I like the bass tone here. But yeah, it sounds cool. Sounds very kind of like avant-garde, too. So yeah, interested to hear more, just toy with the production stuff. That's SLM with Kreislauf. Then we have Beastial Reveler with Accursed Resurrection. I feel like my brain shorted out for a second there. This is out of Czechia, Prague. Fun little kind of cassette style artwork here. Like the bullets on the edge. Very 80s, early 90s demo kind of looking stuff. A lot of thrash metal influence on the guitar here. It's also fitting. Intention to play old evil metal by Misotheist. These fruit flies. Anyone else getting fruit flies this year for some reason? We like never have them, and somehow they're in my office, and I don't know why. I can understand by the sink, by the fruit, there's no food in here. Anyways. I mean, for a demo with that more kind of old school mentality, I kind of like the sound of it. A little bit of that punky DIY quality too. You could play with it and make it maybe even a little bit stronger, but overall I think it works. I think this is another one, though, where it's like there are so many bands that sound almost exactly like this. So what are you going to do to stand out? So everything else I feel like is in place, but how do you How do you make your mark? Like these guitars too. But yeah, that is my advice to Beastial Reveler. Hell yeah. With Accursed Resurrection. And then we have Electrocutioner with False Idols, which I don't think I ever got to. It's been sitting in my queue for a while, but it kept saying private the whole time. So I was just like, okay, I'll wait. But it looks like it's been out. So I apologize for that. So I'm sure it got sent to me freaking ages ago. I'm like double checking I haven't already done this. Can't spell. Electrocutioner. No, nothing's coming up. What a cool cover. Or like a different take on death. Aggressive, ripping thrash metal from the catacombs of New York. Definitely some more 80s mindedness in this too. I'm hearing a lot of like European thrash influences here, as opposed to the US ones. Sounds cool, yeah. Always down for some thrash. I'm becoming more and more of a thrash head every day, I feel like. Oh yeah, I get that DB going. Production is the other feedback I have in this one. Another one where performance-wise it sounds fantastic. I think in this case, the drums are a little too low. Or at least the cymbals. I feel like the cymbals and the snare are too low. The kick drum's a little too loud. And also very... No, I guess it's got some timbre to it. Like, I won't say it's too clicky, but it's like a little bit... Could be a little fuller. Yeah, and the cymbals especially sound very, like, compressed and kind of washed out. We got a little, like, synth interlude here. That's cool. A little Blade Runner. I think the guitars are probably about right. I think that guitar tone could be a little more interesting, have a little bit more texture to it. This feels very dime a dozen. Which again is a shame because I think songwriting-wise I'm hearing some cool stuff here. So yeah, just turn up the production some. Keep doing what you're doing performance-wise, I think. There's always room for improvement there too, but yeah, overall I think this is a production thing, would give it that extra oomph. And then again, how are you going to stand out? But yeah, that is Electrocutioner with False Idols. Alright, next up we have The Sway of Mountains with The Idol Universe Has Won. That's a little loud. Out of South Africa, huh? It's a spot we don't hit too often. Oh, Enslaved vibes. Curious where this is going. Production's really good. It's like a really nice presence to the bass. Death metal, bush synth. I don't know what bush synth is. A little bit of Death Heaven. This is cool. We got some nature noises in the intro. I dig it. Vibe and music. It sounds really good too. And it passes the test of, okay, if we're going to be instrumental, the music has to kind of make up for that and still manage to kind of like vocalize itself. You kind of hear it with the interplay here, the guitar and the bass. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Why does the name Tim Harbor seem so familiar? Because this is the only track with vocals. Honestly, I don't love these vocals either, so... They feel almost out of place in comparison to the other stuff. But yeah, that sounds cool. The Sway of Mountains, the Idle Universe has won. Alright, we've got Psalm with Sense of Light from Colloquial Sound Recordings. Big dramatic intro here. Oh, we're going Doom again, aren't we? Post-black and hardcore in the tags too. This is actually kind of a good segue from the last one. And taking that folkier side. Oh! Is that bagpipes? Or is that just the guitar? Oh, that's just the guitar. It's got kind of like a bagpipe sound to it. That's kind of cool. Some piano. I don't know how I feel about these vocals. Reminds me a little bit of High Lung, which I've always been kind of like of two minds about. I also think the vocals are a little too loud in the mix. I think you would probably pull them back. Yeah, pull the vocals back in the mix, put the guitars up. That's what I say on this one. But I like the overall atmosphere. And after that last one, this one's actually just making me wish it was more instrumental. Kind of progressive build here. Yeah, pretty rad. I think there's room for tweaking, but overall, I like it. That is Psalm with Sense of Light. Alright, we've got Gold with Dem Mondvolk zum Zeichen from Germany. I'm getting like deja vu. Hopefully I haven't covered this yet. Cool cover. I like the simplicity of it. Is it gonna be all drone? Nope! Nope! Yeah, more atmospheric black metal. Taking a more harsh approach this time though. Trying to kind of get my bearings here. It's a very harsh mix. Not necessarily in a bad way, I'm just trying to decide if it's a little too dense. Yeah, a little bit. The drums are so loud here, you're really losing the guitars. They're getting kind of washed out. I'd say they should probably mess with a similar mix and production job that Panopticon does. So I feel like his mixes aren't always great either, but you usually can like kind of hear all the instruments and everything. Yeah, it's just a little, it's all kind of melting together. It's very kind of just a blob, as I usually say. Blob of distortion. There's definitely a tone that I like about it. But yeah, I think the production is the main thing. I feel like I'm missing a lot because of the production. It sounds great in these quieter spots. Like there's a really nice like just vastness I can feel in the headphones. But whenever the distortion kicks in, it just leaves me feeling like I'm having trouble hearing everything. Could just be me. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. But yeah, other than that, I'm intrigued with Gloid. Sorry, that's not an L, that's an I. Gloid with Demonvolk zum Zeichen. Then we have Bull of Apis, Bull of Bronze. Interesting name. With Fractal Ouroboros. Interesting cover, too. By the time you watch this, this should all be out. I've just got 2 tracks to work with right now, but they are on the longer side. It's out of Colorado. I'm noticing more, it's like kind of atmospheric black metal picking up here. Kind of neat. This is definitely the type of stuff, again, that doesn't do as well in these segments, I feel like, because you kind of have to take a whole song in. But I'm not risking that copyright hit. God, it seems like they got some decent dynamics in here. There's quieter sections. Let's check this one out. Build up on this one too. Ooh, a lot of drone. See, this is the album for the patient man, which, admittedly, I often am not. I'm super patient with movies. Like, I love a good slow burn movie, but slow burn music, I'm like, get on with it. Yeah, this is just like a... Yeah, that was all like the wick burning. And it's not till the final third you kind of get the payoff. Which again, nothing objectively wrong with that, just something I tend to have a harder time with. I think the production's a little bit better on this project. The kick drum is a little muddy. But other than that, it sounds pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to hear more of this. I hear elements I like, but again, something about like the dragged out nature of some of it I'm not sure about. But that is Bull of Apis, Bull of Bronze with the Fractal Ouroboros. Then we have Sea of Consciousness with Misconception. This is just a single. Project from the Netherlands. Gotta take that photo in the woods. Can't just not do it. Black metal. Ooh. And more kind of aggro black metal. A little bit of like Marduk in there. Ooh. Throwing a little bit of more melodic black metal riffing, a little dissection. I like that. I have to make this joke though, where it's like with the cover art. Oh no, my mouse is dying. Expectation, reality. No, it's all good though. We got some clean singing too. Ooh, a little vibrato in there. Yeah, pretty haunting. Oh yeah, and then picking it up. It's almost like skeleton witchy part here. Cool riff there. Nice little... Yeah! Cool, yeah. I like it. Sea of Consciousness with Misconception. Be interested to hear more when you have more. Alright, we got Horen with whatever this is. Out of Ukraine. don't know if the title's written down anywhere else. Voices of My Despairing Thoughts. English, I'm assuming that's what the title is. A lot of black metal all of a sudden. We just like took a turn. I don't know if my black metal tier list brought out all the last minute wrecks from that side. This is a little different though. This is kind of like... it's like a little bit more restrained. And then, ah! Right as I say restrained, okay. Alright, this part's a little more traditional here. This is the type of black metal again though where I'm like, can I sit through this for 7.5 minutes? I don't know. And again, that's a personal thing, that's a me thing, that's a patience thing. But if the songwriting's good, like we got a nice shift there. Does it continue to change? A little bit. That's the main thing for me. If a song's long, it better take me on like a whole journey. And again, it's impossible for me to tell that or not in this segment the way that I do it, but... another one, the mix here. The treble is like way up. And so anything like the cymbals or some of the synth effects I'm hearing, when those come in, it like completely drowns everything else out. Yeah, like right now, like I can barely hear anything else besides that. So yeah, mess with the mix a little bit. Curious to see how these songs play out. But yeah, more solid black metal from Horen with, what was it? Voices of My Despairing Thoughts, a fitting title, I think. Then we have Diva with Hubris out of Portugal. More kind of aggressive black metal, blackened death metal maybe, gothic metal also in the tags. Okay, so is this gonna be like a moon spell kind of deal? Septic flesh? I like these symphonic elements. Very dramatic. Oh wow, this is from all the way back in February. I feel like I remember seeing this cover and I just never... Hey! Hey now! Death of Icarus! That's not allowed. This better be that most epic fucking song ever written. Very Dimmu Borgir in the symphonic elements here. Yep. I like this. I like this a lot. I think the mix could be a little bit fuller. Like, if we brought back some of that element where I described how in the headphones I could, like, kind of feel this sort of, like, cavernous space. I think a little bit of that in here would be nice. But I'm really digging the symphonic stuff. I'm a sucker for symphonic death metal, symphonic black metal, so... that is right up my alley. So please keep me informed as new stuff comes out. And you're doing something I also appreciate where sometimes with like symphonic metal, the guitars can take a back seat, and I don't want that. I want the guitars to be just as interesting and important to the songwriting than everything else. So, yeah. Cool, yeah. I like this a lot. Godiva, Hubris. Alright, we have Abyssal Tomb of Australia. That was a hard left turn right there from that last one. We got big dramatic, sweeping symphonics, and now just like old school, stripped back, I almost feel bad putting them back to back, but I've been listening to a lot of old school death metal lately too, because little teaser, I'm starting up a new, what'll hopefully be a new series, assuming part 1 is successful. I've already recorded part 1 and have part 2 all mapped out. And it has a lot to do with 90s death metal. And that is all I will say for now. So stay tuned for that. Don't touch that dial! A little bit of like bolt thrower energy. This is the overall vibe I'm getting. But they also have Obituary in the FFO. Obituary, I think of crazier vocals. So I don't know if I'd fully compare it to that. Alan West era 6 Feet Under. That's hyper specific. Also, Morta Scold. Yeah, pretty boilerplate old school death metal, which is cool, but I've said so many times, I've kind of just like, I feel like old school death metal is like, it's been done. You know, like, we spent the entire 90s doing that. I feel like we've kind of like left mostly no stone unturned. Occasionally there's a band like Horrendous that proves me wrong and really stands out, but personally I'm kind of tired of newer bands just waxing nostalgic. Same with second wave black metal. Like, I'm ready for new stuff. So yeah, but if this is what you want to do, again, my main feedback is always like, how do you stand out? Because there's a lot of competition in the OSDM field, even with newer bands now. But yeah, that is Abyssal Tomb with Buried. Alright, we have Omnium with War for Peace. Ooh, I'm always a sucker for that. The fake start, that's always fun. Out of Gothenburg, Sweden, one of my favorite capitals for metal, being a huge melodic death metal fan. Loving the bass here. A little more thrash in this one. Oh yeah, thrash band, okay. I don't see as many thrash bands out of Gothenburg, Sweden, so that's cool. A lot of mellow death bands with thrash influences, but this is sick. Yeah, this is Banger City. More again, I will keep saying it. I feel like this year has made me an actual lover of thrash metal. After dabbling in it for many, many years, I feel like I legitimately have found a full appreciation for the scope. And that's what I love, too, random aside, like, about doing the tier lists of, like, classic albums, because, like, not only does it give newer viewers who haven't explored that stuff an opportunity, it forces me to catch some of my blind spots, where there are plenty of albums I haven't listened to, because there are so many albums. But back to this sounds awesome. A little bit of Ex Mortis in there, too, with kind of the flashiness of the guitars. Ooh. That's always fun. You want to win my heart over, it's not just D-beat. If you do those little start-stops with the guitars, like, always a fan of that. Yeah, this is an absolute shredder. Ooh! Hell yeah. That's fucking sick. And the Pates. I dig this. This is one of my favorites of this whole batch. Yeah, when y'all put out a full length, or your next full length, or whatever it is, hit me up, because I want to hear it. That is Omnium with War for Peace. Then we have Zombiestial with At Dusk, out of Yakima, Washington. And I've been there. I have been to Yakima. I've driven through there many a time on the way to visit my parents. So they're a little further north. Okay, we're getting super raw here. This one gets kind of like blackened thrash, but super rugged, kind of second wave style production. I like that bass. I kind of wish it wasn't quite so raw, because I love blackened thrash. And I just feel like I wish I could hear it a little bit more. So I'm digging the riffs and the overall energy. Oh, there's a Psy cover. That's kind of cool. Big fan of Psy, so I wonder if that's part of the reason for the production too, because early Psy especially has some pretty interesting production. Yeah, I'd say play with the production a little bit more. Like, it might be something I can adapt to, kind of like I did for Dark Throne and all that, but I just feel like this style would sound better with a little bit more presence. Yeah, that's cool. His vocals are fun too. That is Bestial with At Dusk. Then we have Mutilated Currency Division out of Ohio. Okay, this is a different turn too. Industrial metal, breakbeat thrash metal. These kind of gnarly vocals too. Funny thing though is that, like, at this point, this isn't even the weirdest thing that we've listened to. There's a time where this would have weirded me out more, but now I'm just like, this is par for the course. I would love a lot more industrial music though. There's just not enough. There's not enough. And I miss those days of the industrial and EDM soundtracks with a little new metal mixed in, like The Matrix, all that. Good times. This kind of reminds me of Kevin Key's solo work, especially this track. Kevin Key has done so much stuff, even outside of Skinny Puppy. At this point, I wonder if he has more non-Skinny Puppy albums than Skinny Puppy albums. He might. There was a period I went through where I was like so into this stuff. Like, that was like all I was listening to was like solo Kevin Key and Doubting Thomas and anything I could get my hands on. I hope I still have. I had started collecting some of those albums too. I had the Doubting Thomas album, which are somewhat hard to come by, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is interesting. You definitely activated my nostalgia brain. Yeah, that is Mutilated Currency Division with Parasitical Hexatherium. Alright, y'all. That is plenty, and that'll wrap up 2023's Best of Bandcamp. Enjoy doing these, so I'll continue doing them. I gotta say, I'm starting to get too many requests, so be kind. But yeah, I was happy to do this, and I'm glad that even though it's the least popular segment, that the people who watch it religiously watch it and always give great feedback. So put your comments down below. Give these fine bands your money. They deserve it for their hard work. And yeah, see you in the trenches for another year in 2024.